So, welcome to this time of prayer together this evening. And this is the fourth in a series of 6 Wednesday prayers. And in each one, we're drawing on the spiritual exercises of Ignatius. And we're reflecting on the gift of God's creation. And we are accompanying Father Chris Gorton in prayer as he makes his way running towards Santiago de Compostela in aid of Caritas. So we might also pray this evening for all those in need who will benefit from this pilgrimage. So tonight we're going to pray with a story from Matthew's Gospel, which you're likely to be very familiar with. And it follows the story follows the feeding of the 5,000 in the Gospel. And in the spiritual exercises, this story comes in the second week as the retreatant is praying for the grace to know, love, and follow Jesus more closely. And surely this is our call as pilgrims and through our lifelong pilgrimage in life, to know, love, and follow Jesus. And in the story, we'll find the tranquility of nature is contrasted with its power to stir the waters, and the quiet of the hills where Jesus prays alone contrasts with the power of the wind and the waves that buffet the boat that the disciples are traveling within. And we'll see how Jesus chooses to draw close to them and to us. And Jesus invites Peter to step out of the boat, to join him on the water, and holds him fast when doubts overwhelm him. So here is our story. Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side, while he sent the crowds away. After he had sent them away, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got out of the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately, Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You have little faith," he said. "Why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. And then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." So let's take a few moments now to become still and to prepare ourselves to enter into this story. So I invite you to find a comfortable position for this time of prayer. And settle in. We might begin by listening for any sounds outside of the room that you're in. And just notice them, name them, and just allow them to return to the background. Then turn your attention to any sounds within the room where you are. And again, notice them, name them, and let them go. Become aware of yourself here in this moment. Just beginning to notice how you are this evening. If there's physically any areas of tension, perhaps just gently soften them. As you still your body, so it may still your mind and settle your emotions. We rest in God. So let yourself be loved by God as you are just now in this moment. God, who looks on you with nothing but love and compassion. And I invite you to pray for the grace to know, love, and follow Jesus more closely. If there is something else that you want to pray for this evening, and let God know in your heart. And so I invite you to use your imagination to enter into this scene. It is late in the day. And Jesus urges the disciples to get into the boat whilst he sends the crowds of people away. So using your senses, what can you see? Maybe the boat on the water's edge. The disciples. The crowd, men, women, and children, dispersing. Watch them as they leave. And hear the sound of their voices gradually ebbing away. Disciples doing as Jesus has asked and getting into the boat. So at this point, perhaps to place yourself in the scene. Maybe into the shoes of Peter, or just being yourself. So make your way into the boat. You may need to find your balance as the boat wobbles on the water. And as you take your seat, see Jesus as he turns walks away alone into the hills. How do you feel as you watch him go? And as the boat is cast off from the shore, what can you hear? Maybe the ropes being gathered up. The chatter of the disciples. The sound of the water lapping against the boat as it begins its journey. What's the temperature like? Will you be warm enough out on the water? And what's on your feet? As you steady yourself, feel the surface of the boat. Is the wood rough or smooth? How are you with the movement of the boat as it heads into open water? And feel the wind on your face and the spray of the water as the boat smacks the waves. And you travel further away from the shore. The night draws on, and the darkness deepens. This is a rough night to be out, and the crossing seems endless. Then figure is emerging out there on the water. This figure seems to be coming towards you. You strain your eyes to see. And as it moves closer, others see it too. It's a ghost, someone cries. But then a familiar voice is heard. It is I. Don't be afraid. What's the tone of his voice? Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid. How is it to hear these words addressed to you? And whatever is going on for you in life just now. Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water. Maybe this is your voice. So let the story unfold. Come, says Jesus. How do you want to respond? Maybe you step out of the boat. How is Jesus looking at you? What's it like out there on the water? Maybe you begin to falter. And Jesus reaches out his hand. How does he hold you? So with Jesus, you climb into the boat. And the wind dies down. And you hear the others marveling at what just happened. So take time to be with Jesus now, side by side on the boat. And in the quiet, for a couple of minutes, to talk to him as one friend to another. A friend who invites you to come to him, to step out of the boat, and holds you safe. Who else helps you to face challenges in life and holds you safe? Perhaps tell Jesus about some of the people in your life for who you are grateful. Maybe there is something that Jesus wants to say to you. And as the boat reaches the shore, it's nearly time to take your leave of Jesus. knowing that you can return to this place of prayer and speak with him again. So you might become aware once again of the familiar surroundings, sounds within your room and outside of your room. And we close this time of prayer. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen.